I like Destiny 2, and I've been playing this game pretty much since it's been released. I stuck through the disastrous year 1 of double primaries. I played through the really good Forsaken expansion. I stuck through Beyond Light, Shadowkeep, Witch Queen, and now we're here at Lightfall, and I just want to make this video. I don't make videos like this. I'm not a YouTuber, but it's gotten to the point now where I feel so passionately about Destiny that I want to record a video about it. You see, I love Destiny 2 for the reasons why everyone else loves Destiny 2. The shooting and the gunplay are second to none. The recently introduced systems around build crafting and abilities, subclass customization, they're all incredible. They add so much needed depth into the game. But recently, this magical universe that I could spend my time in and get lost in has been starting to feel less magical. So in this video, I want to talk about some of the reasons why I've been engaging with Destiny less over the years. And you don't need to agree with me. You don't need to disagree with me. That's fine. This video is mostly for me to get what I've been feeling about this game off my chest. So I want to start off by talking about the storytelling in Destiny, because it's been a bit of a letdown recently. It always sort of has been, right? The story was something that a lot of players ran through to get to the end game as fast as they possibly could. It just kind of felt like something you needed to get through, and almost like an afterthought basically by Bungie, right? And then Witch Queen comes out. It has a tight mission structure, does away with all the padding and mid-tier missions of the previous campaigns. It integrates into the world by raising the stakes and introducing the witness. It was really good. So why am I ranting about the story? It's that what we have in the game now, quite frankly, it's been a letdown. We have Shadowkeep, Beyond Light, Witch Queen, and Lightfall as the 4 major expansions of the Light and Dark saga so far. Shadowkeep and the Witch Queen are the only 2 that feel pertinent to the overall story for introducing the pyramids and the witness, while Beyond Light and Lightfall take those stakes and throw them out the windows in favor of a narrative about us acquiring our overall subclasses. And special mention goes out to Lightfall for taking the stakes that the Witch Queen and its season set up and threw them out the window in favor of a fun little 80s action romp on Neomuna for the purpose of acquiring a strand, and also explaining absolutely nothing about what's going on and introducing more MacGuffins and more questions that go unanswered, and having a raid that at the moment seems very disconnected from the overall plotline. Again, I understand that some questions that are posed in campaigns are answered in the seasons. However, the seasonal stories get deleted. This means, number 1, that some people will go into new expansions having not played the seasons, feeling like they've done a complete 180 on the state of the world because 4 seasons have technically passed in between the first expansion and the second expansion. The other is the seasonal storytelling model, in my opinion, is hot garbage. And why is that? The main reason is time gates. I do not like having my story progression time gated by an arbitrary weekly structure. I understand some people say it's like watching a TV show, but if I wanted to watch a TV show, I wouldn't be playing a video game. I would like to sit down, I would like to play the game at my own pace. I don't want to be time gated behind whatever flimsy excuse they give to have me wait a week. And on top of seasonal structures, the story content itself is so annoying to play through. You need to run to one area, talk to a character on the holoprojector, run to another area, talk to a character on the holoprojector, the same character, run one insert seasonal activity here, then you get rewarded with the story for that week, which is probably one reskinned area. They use the same area for all 6 weeks, and then you get treated to a beautiful cutscene of you get to watch 2 characters talk to each other. You feel just like a floating camera. You're not there. The story's not about you. And it's such a small amount of story per week too, just to keep you playing just that bit longer, I feel like. It's just not fun to engage with the seasonal story. And it sucks because there are some decent seasonal stories that are held back by the structure. So while we're still on the subject of seasons, I'll get into my next rant point, I guess. The seasons suck literal fat, steamy eggs. I mean, this is nothing new. The community's been ranting about this for a while now, but the activities are stale. And to their credit, we get maybe 1 or 2 interesting ones for every couple seasons. We get Excalibur, we get Presage, we get Revision 0, but they're the exception and not the rule. The seasonal activity feels like a copy-paste job every season. And the fact that you need to engage with it so many times over the course of the season to get all your gun rolls and your deep sight resonance doesn't really help it just kind of compounds the fact that you're running sort of the same activity across all 4 seasons every year. Same mechanics too. We're still dunking balls and standing on plates. That really hasn't changed. I wish they would add maybe one new mechanic in the expansion and then sort of iterate on it in the seasons so we get kind of a progression, but I guess not. I can only dream, right? And the artifact power is meant to be like a borrowed power thing, so it doesn't really matter how many bounties you grind afterwards because you get reset back to 0, so that never feels great. And the seasonal vendor upgrades, they've gotten better in Season of Defiance, but before that it was like a 7x3 grid of these upgrades that kind of gave you marginally useful bonuses that no one really cared about, with the exception of being able to target farm your loot. So that never felt good to do all those over again. Next, I want to talk about the grinding in Destiny 2, and not the random rolls, because random rolls are fine, I guess. They're a staple of the game. If they were to get changed again, there would be riots. Crafting, I don't know enough about the crafting system to make any deep, insightful comments about it. So I'll talk about power level and pinnacle grinding. My main complaint for pinnacle grinding is you're entirely at the mercy of RNG. If you don't get an arm slot to drop, for example, your power is going to be 1 or 2 levels behind what it really should be if you'd gotten a more even distribution of drops. But I take the most umbrage with power level grinding as a whole, because at the moment the system feels like it's in flux. Like they don't really know what they want to do with it. I'm saying that because power level hasn't really meant anything for a long time now, so now they're trying to control the difficulty of the game by sort of capping your power in places, but in other areas the power level is completely off. So it seems like they're trying to move away from power levels as a whole, but I'm not really sure yet. It just feels weird at the moment. Like I'm only raising my power level for 1 or 2 activities. Like I'm trying to grind that flawless lost sector right now, so I'm trying to get my power to 1830, but that's like the only thing I feel like I want to do my power for. The raid is easily accessible, and Grandmaster Nightfalls are only done by a very small percentage of the community. So what is the point of the system right now is my main concern with power grinding. So I'm interested to see what they're doing with it, but I'm not really holding my breath. So that's pretty much my thoughts on what's currently in the game right now. But outside the game, I want to talk about 2 things, being the pricing structure and the sort of technical state of Destiny right now. Right now, Destiny's pricing structure is unintuitive and not welcoming to newcomers. If a new player wants everything the Destiny 2 experience has to offer, they need to fork over at least 175 Canadian dollars, which in my opinion is quite a lot of money, with Destiny 2's free-to-play experience making up more of a protracted demo than an actual free-to-play game, as a majority of all the good content that the community constantly brings up is locked behind expansion paywalls. And with the front page of the Steam store having 12 DLCs that total up to 500 Canadian dollars, it goes a long way in scaring away potential new players when they're faced with this mountain of DLC and they're not sure what to get. Add on to the fact that some things can only be purchased inside Destiny, like the dungeon key can only be bought for silver in the Eververse. You have all the necessary ingredients for this weird, confusing price model that only serves to make people not want to buy anything at all. And on Destiny's technical state, it's not really a good look. There are lots of server issues, or at least the server issues that show up result in these crazy like extended downtimes. The bugs are getting wild. Some guy's character got deleted. It took like 2 teams on a weekend to go get the character back. And I remember just before Lightfall came out, there was this 24+ hour extended maintenance because they implemented a patch to remove blue engrams, and it just brought the whole game offline for 24+ hours. And when it comes to bug fixing, bugs are fixed in a sort of timely manner. Anything that benefits the player, the perception is that it gets patched out almost instantly. Like we just had a legendary shard farm that got patched within a couple hours, I want to say. I don't know the exact numbers on that, but there's been an audio bug that a lot of players are experiencing. And obviously, you know, some things are harder to fix than others. In the case of this shard farm, it was just flipping a switch in their API to disable an item, so I understand, but the perception is, you know, anything that benefits the player gets instantly patched. And sometimes it feels like patches break way more than they're supposed to fix, which leads to this awful like community perception around bug fixing. People think that, and they're kind of right, the bugs are prevalent. We get server issues all the time, but you know, better fix that legendary shard farm, right? And the last thing I'll say before I start to wrap things up, because I forgot about it and it doesn't really belong anywhere else, is the reskins on guns and other equipment is starting to get a little bit old. Like, for seasons, I understand. The Season of Defiance weapons are really cool, despite the fact that they were reskin, because they had the whole like awoken blue stone going on with them. That was sick. But for your marquee expansion for the year, I think the players can at least expect some new weapon models. This is in fact a looter shooter still, so having new cool loot to chase is obviously like one of the biggest motivators for a year of content. But hey, with Bungie increasing the price of the seasonal battle pass, maybe we can actually expect some unique models. Maybe they're totally doing it because they're going to make cooler seasonal content. And they're totally not trying to just squeeze a few extra dollars out of their player base. So, in conclusion, I do really like Destiny. I've had some good times and I've made some good memories playing it, and I've met some pretty neat people. It just feels to me like there's less effort put into the content we receive. That's probably in part to the sort of formulaic seasonal model now that comes with these expansions. So I've been playing it as actively as I used to. I've been taking breaks between things and coming back to check what's new. So I don't really want to say, oh, I quit, you know, it's over, I'm out, this is where the sad violin music comes in. And with the release of Lightfall bringing higher than ever player counts to Destiny, maybe Bungie is justified jacking up the season pass by those extra couple dollars. The fan base will really just keep buying anything. And it really makes me wish that Destiny had some solid competition in that FPS looter shooter MMO light space, because I think some market competition would really get Bungie off their ass to start fixing some stuff and iterating on these systems in a more meaningful way. And again, these are just my thoughts. If you like Destiny, that's great. All the power to you. These are just my thoughts on why I've been engaging with the game a little less, some of the stuff I don't like, and some of the things I sort of wish they could improve on for the future. Because when a lot of people make these kinds of videos about Destiny, it's from a place of love and a place of passion for a game, right? And it's very rare in the gaming space nowadays to make a game that inspires such reactions in people. And it shows that the fans care. They've said so themselves in their own GDC presentations. And you know, there are so many other things I could make this video on. This video could easily drag out to like 25-30 minutes, but those are sort of my main gripes with the game right now. So while I sort of play Destiny on again and off again, I watch its progress with great interest, because Destiny is a very unique game in the gaming space. There's not really anything else like it. So with that comes a lot of potential to be a really truly incredible game. And not to say it already isn't, but there are so many other avenues that can be explored to really bring out the full potential of this genre of game. So if you made it this far, thank you for listening. Like I said, I'm just getting some things off my chest about Destiny. I don't know you, you don't know me, so thank you for taking the time to listen to this horrible audio splicing with some amateur gameplay stapled to it. I'd appreciate if you'd like the video if you like it. Drop me a comment if you don't, that sort of thing. And there are other games I want to make videos about, so I had to get this one out of the way first. So thank you for watching, and I might see you later.